Okay, this afternoon we're privileged to have with us Shirley Rayner, the yeoman.
That's right.
Thank you so much for allowing us to interview you, Shirley, and there's a lot of history back up in those Wakararas that you will be able to tell us about.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah. So, growing up as a preschooler, what are your memories from those days, if you have anything?
Well, I was moved up from Mark Curry before I turned 5. It must have been about 1941.
Okay. So
Because I started school in the middle school.
That's what I was going to ask you, yes.
But we lived up the top in the Turfrey house for a
yes.
while.
So the Turfreys were relatives?
Yeah, my mum was a Turfrey.
That's right.
And we had to walk down from the house up on the further up the road down to this mill every day for school.
Okay.
And then later on, there was a family at the mill that left, so Dad shifted us all down into a mill house.
Okay.
And that was down by the river.
Yeah. So life at the mill, or outside school, what sort of things?
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Down at the river.
The river and the bush were our playground.
Yeah.
And in the mill itself on the weekend, playing hide and seek. And none of the houses had a power or a telephone.
No, so it was all candle and lantern?
So Dad got a battery thing after a while, and we used to run our lights with the batteries. He used to charge them up every night.
Okay. So I can just visualise what it would have been, life would have been up there for a young person in those days. Like you say, cowboys and Indians, down the river so handy, fishing, eeling, that sort of thing.
Plenty of eeling and catching frogs. And no, it was really a lot of fun. Dad had to shift us out one night because our house was fairly near the river.
Okay.
And it was coming, and one night it had come up to our back door. But this night he was worried, and so we shifted out.
Okay.
But since the mill's finished, the river's went right through there.
It's gone right through there, I can imagine.
It's not there anymore.
No. Okay, so for your secondary schooling?
I went to Napier Girls High.
You went to Napier Girls, yeah.
There's no bus run out there then or anything.
How did you handle that for a start?
Not very well. No, because I think 18 was about the most children that we were at the school, and of course they were all ages.
Yes.
And of course going to a big high school like that, we had to change rooms for each lesson and all that. I was absolutely lost for a long time. No, I hated it.
And boarding, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when the mill first started, there was a lot of single men.
Yes.
Which I never saw. Some of the photos that have been on Facebook will show a whole lot of single men's huts. Yeah. Which I never ever saw that.
Okay.
By the time we went up there, they'd built more family homes.
Yeah. Okay, so at boarding school, how long were you there for?
3 years.
3 years, yeah. And then out into the working world?
And in Hastings, I worked in an accountant's office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you met Peter?
At the Waipup dance, Saturday night dances.
Okay. So we're also privileged to have Peter Rayner, Shirley's husband, with us. Yeah, Peter, can you tell us a little bit about your preschool days or where you grew up?
Well, I was born in Waipawa in 1937 at the Rathbone maternity unit, like most of the family. Went from there to primary school at Waipakarau. Quite a bit different to the school that it is now. It was a brick building, quite a big school. I think I started in Primus 1 and went through up until Standard 6. That would have been 1950, I think. Shifted on to the high school. Didn't enjoy high school very much. I was at a loss. I wasn't very good at the maths, geometry and algebra and all that. Yes, I left and my mother got me a job in Williams, was
Yes. Yeah.
a joinery factory up past where the health centre is in Cook Street.
That's
You
right.
had to do an
Yes.
apprenticeship.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I did 6 years there and became a joiner. I have a ticket, but I don't know where the ticket is now. But it was framed for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, and partway through my training, one of the directors, who was the funeral director, Charlie
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
Now he was a director or a funeral director with Jim Fleming, who
Yeah.
was my boss in the joinery factory. Jim took over the running of the funeral directory, and he said to me one day, he said, "You ought to buy a suit." So I became a hearse driver and funeral director helper with him, and I did that for, I think it was about the last 3 years of my training.
Okay.
Then in the between times I'd met Shirley at these dances. Actually it was a dance in Ongar that I first met you on a Friday night.
Oh,
And then about 2 weeks later she was there in Waipak at the Saturday night dances in Cook Street.
Okay.
Went to the dances most Saturday nights, both loved dancing,
Yeah.
and
one thing leads to
made a
another.
big difference. They used to have supper and somebody else would go and play the piano, and I was told to go up there and have a go on the drums, you see. So
Yeah.
that's how I got onto the drums, was
Okay.
on the Saturday night. There at the official Waipak dance night.
Yeah.
After that, we got married.
Yeah.
And 1959, 4th of April 1959. And Cheryl's father said, "I think you should come and work for me."
Yes.
So that's how I ended up in Wakarara.
Yeah. Okay.
Went straight into the mill, did that for 7 or 8 months, and I'm not sure what happened. The truck driver, I think, that they had at the time left, and there was nobody else to take his position, so Cheryl's father decided that I was to do the mail run that he was doing,
Yeah.
and he would do the truck driving. So that went on for 6 years. I did that for 6 years. Vacated and we went up to the cottage
Okay.
from the mill house.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was in 1965
Mm-hmm.
we shifted.
Yeah. So from Williams and the mail run, but you also did a lot of grading through the Guavas
Yes, well,
roads?
Cheryl's father was contracting for the
Yeah.
Forest Service. And that's what a lot of the, well, 3 of the bulldozers were used over there for roading.
Yeah.
And part of the conditions that he was able to get these tenders was he had to have a grader. And so they bought a grader from Natras's in Napier and drove it home, and it was sitting there one weekend when they were away at the races, and I thought, well, I'm getting a bit tired of this being cowman gardener and
Yeah.
good for everything other than else, so I hopped in this thing and graded the road down to the
Yeah.
mill on the mill hill.
Yeah.
And anyway, he came home and he said, "Did you have the council grader down here?" And I said, "No." I said, "I did it." "Oh, well, that's your job then."
Yeah. So the time came when you moved on from Wakarara. Which is difficult.
1985.
Very difficult.
Yes.
Yes. I
Yeah,
was
it
in
was.
limbo for a while.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know what I was going to do. And
No.
I thought, well, I'm going to need a lot of money in a hurry. I better go to the works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bob said to me, "Why are you going to work? Why don't you take on a manager's job?" And I said, "Don't pay that much sort of money."
No.
No.
No. No. And so you were there from
For 33 years we were there.
yeah,
85 to
85, so 5 years sort of
85
after it
till
started.
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. I retired, I was 72.
Yeah.
I went into the sheepyards because, you know, that
he
I
was
thought I
able to
could
use his
handle
dogs.
Yeah.
that. But I sure had a real education there.
Yeah. With
been working on your own
Yeah.
a lot of the time, and then you get in there and some of these sods would try you out.
Yeah.
Talking about old Horace, he came up to us one night after we'd been playing and he said, I'm going to get you fellas to come and play for my 100th birthday.
Yeah.
And the old chap, he never got there.
No, he's a good old bugger.
Yeah. And that cigarette with
the holder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember well. Remember him well.
Yeah.
And Paul,
Yeah.
him working for Wilson's.
Yeah.
And he used to drive a S Bedford for him.
The green and white one.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I met him one day when I'm going out to town to get the groceries and whatever on for the run.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Paul. I'll switch the key off. I'll give him a fright. So just as he went past, I switched it back on again and of course, bang! And never thought any more of it. And about 3 days later, oh, here's Paul. Oh, yeah. I'm still driving the old Bedford, yeah. Went past and he got me. Bang!
Yeah.
Well, one night, he was working for Wilson's up North Block Road.
Yeah.
And he was staying in that little box they had there.
Yeah.
Well, he had a kerosene tin nailed to a tree. That was his mailbox. So then I arrived there and he got milk and butter and what have you. And it had it was about head height and it had a drop lid. So nothing could get in there if there was anything in there. And I'm standing there and I got the lid sitting on my head here like this and I got a bottle in my hand and whatever and I had some bloody milk butter. I stuck it under my mouth to hang on to it while I opened this. And the bugger, he must have been behind me, up on the bank behind me, and he fired a 303 over my head.
That's the sort of thing Paul would do.
Jesus! I dropped the milk and squashed the butter under there. And I called him everything, but he never showed.
Oh.
He never showed.
Yeah?
No. But I found out later it was him.
Yeah. That's